Harrison is going to support
Okay,
this
now when he
minority
tells me
gesture.
that, I'll break it, but
Okay,
he has
no
not
problem.
told me that yet, okay? We now have State Representative Gordy Dove joining us on the set, and in a few short minutes, we're going to have State Representative Damon Baldone on by phone. So, we are trying to be as fair as we can to develop this story. It's a complicated story. It's a story that everybody has an opinion, and seems to me everybody's putting their opinion out right now. So, once again, State Representative Gordy Dove is on the set. Gordy, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
How you doing today, Martin?
Good. All right. House Bill 582. One of your big points of contention, just to get it out right away, was the fact that Representative Baldone did not sign his name on the actual or author of the bill when you said he was very involved in the bill.
Well, yes, Martin. I mean, first of all, give you the history of 582. Until I started reading what bills were coming up, I didn't know Representative Honore had House Bill 582 concerning the 32nd JDC Terrebonne Parish. That's some sort of a golden rule in Baton Rouge. First of all, someone else handles it, and it's that controversial and that big of a bill. Usually, the whole delegation is brought in, which I was not brought in. I actually read about it, going through the bills that are coming up this session.
All right. Let's get into the heart of the matter about the bill. You have been vehemently opposed to a minority district perform, and what Mr. Bargan was just saying, I told him because he tried to pin me on diversity. It's not diversity that I think people are against. It's a method by which people are disagreeing on. Would you agree that it's the method by which this is happening, or am I wrong on that?
No, Martin, it's definitely the method in the way everything's being derived. But remember this, I believe in three branches of government: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. Normally, bills pertaining to judges go through the judiciary. They generally come with the Judicial Council recommendation, and the committee follows it. If they don't have that recommendation, it generally doesn't get out of there. Now, maybe they could cite some bills that did that I'm not aware of, but the 8 years I've been there, that's the way the system runs. Now we've circumvented the Judiciary Committee, because that's what I tried to recommit the bill to send it to Judiciary to make sure that the amendment that was added by House and Government, which doesn't fool with this, the reason it went to House and Government, it had precincts defined in it, so it was some redistricting in there. So what I told the House floor is we should have a dual referral, and that's done. That's done whenever two different committees become experts at things. Like for this bill, you don't want to see it come to my committee, natural resources,
right,
which is in the environment, because we don't deal with that day to day in my committee. So without it going to judiciary, it circumvented the system and went to the House floor, and we have an amendment on there. For the life of me, I don't think it'll withstand the Justice Department. I'm not an attorney. I've got opinions from different attorneys, and everyone's very confused at the way that they broke Terrebonne Parish up into 3 districts.
Representative Baldone, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Martin. I appreciate it. Sorry I can't be in the studio. I'm just driving up to Cornish. I'm in Berg right now.
Okay, well, good. Let's talk about 582. And what I asked Representative Dove right off the bat, seems to be a point of contention between 582 and who actually authored it and who actually has their name on it. Just for the record, so we can get it straight. Is this your bill?
Yes, this is a bill that I'm sponsoring. However, Representative Honore, as a representative from Baton Rouge, has the bill. This last session was a fiscal session, which means the legislators can only file 5 bills each that are non-fiscal. I had a bill saved for it. However, at the last minute, during the reapportionment session special session we had prior to this session, Terrebonne and Lafourche got cut in half, and so I dedicated my last bill to trying to put Terrebonne and Lafourche back together, which bill will be heard this week in committee.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's get into the heart of 582. Naturally, State Representative Dove, who's sitting right next to me, had just said publicly that he's against it. 5 sitting judges now from Terrebonne Parish, which we read earlier in the program, are against it. An appellate court judge, Jimmy Gadry, who's written a pretty detailed letter to the senators, is against it. Where does this stand, Damon? Is this a uphill battle? Is this gaining momentum to go the other way, or where do you think this is going to go?
Well, it's still up in the air. It's again, the voice of the people. I was asked to introduce this bill, and there was support from the Terrebonne Parish Council that had a resolution supporting diversity. Terrebonne Parish School Board had a resolution supporting diversity. When the bill was presented in committee, we had about 40 members of our community all in support of the bill, and not one person in opposition to the bill. And you know, that's where people have a right to be heard, is in committee. And I think that's what the committee felt, that you know, these people were very passionate about having this bill passed. There's 40 of them that showed up, and not one person showed up against it. And I think that's one of the reasons it got out of committee, because they felt that the community was behind this. I know the judges have just recently come out with a letter with some concerns, and I know Representative Dove has some concerns as well. But that's the beauty of this democracy. Everybody has their voice.
All right, let me ask you this, in the biggest question I've had to everybody, is suppose this goes through and a Justice Department says, nope, gang, y'all got it all wrong. You can't do it this way. It's redistricting on its face value, and it's wrong. Doesn't that leave Terrebonne Parish without, and you're an attorney, so maybe you're better at answering this, does it leave Terrebonne Parish with 5 sitting judges who don't have a job, and then we have to have 5 judges that are appointed at that point?
No, that's not correct at all.
Okay.
What happened is this does not take effect until it gets justice approval. So, in other words, an election will not take place, and first of all, the election doesn't take place until 2013, effective to 2014, unless there's a death or a resignation earlier than that. But no, it has to get approval by the Justice Department first. So none of this will take effect until Justice gives their stamp of approval on it. So that's not a concern.
When we come back, we have more, including the Bubba Dove Fishing Rodeo. We also have a National Guard picnic and an update from Mayor Tim Mott of Morgan City. And then we count down the rest of the week. Quite an interesting week right here on the Week in Review.